This is a 360 panorama on my website. I shot this with my drone, stitched it together, and embedded it myself using low cost and free software. So I went from 33 photos to this, to embedding it on my website, and here's how I did it. This is the workflow that I used to complete this project on my MacBook Pro. Now, the entire workflow can be completed on a Windows machine, except for Pixelmator Pro, which is a native Mac app. The tools used for this project, I used a drone to take the images, Panovolo stitching tool, Pixelmator Pro, Pannellum, which is a open source 360-degree viewer for the web. And then I have a WordPress site with the Code Snippets plugin. Now the process was pretty simple. First thing I did was I captured the drone in sphere mode and I exported the raw files. Then I saved the images to a working folder on my desktop. I used Panovolo to stitch the images together. Color correction was done in Pixelmator Pro. The Pannellum files were downloaded and then uploaded to my website server, and then I embedded it on my WordPress site. So I flew my drone to an altitude of 300 feet, and then I selected the 360 spherical panorama, which is just an automatic capture, and then you hit go and it will capture 33 photos in 360 degrees, and then it will save those as a raw images, and DJI will also process the stitched together 360, but I wanted to stitch together myself because the final image is going to be much higher quality if you do it yourself, as opposed to using the one that the DJI app produces. So once the image capture was completed, I used an app called Panovolo to stitch together the final image. So Panovolo is built specifically for drone panoramas. It costs $29.99 as a one-time purchase. There's no subscriptions or no cloud dependency. It's really simple program to use. You basically open Panovolo, select the type of panorama that you want. You select the files, the folder where your images are located. Click stitch, and then you export as a JPEG. It's that simple, and it only takes a couple minutes. And that's what the exported image looks like. Then I ran the process again and selected the stereographic 360, and that's how I got that little tiny planet effect that I used in the intro. Okay, so now we've got our stitched, edited panorama. Now, how did I get it looking like this on a website? Well, let me show you how I did this for free. Now, in order to host this interactive 360 on my website, I used a program called Pannellum, and Pannellum is a lightweight open source JavaScript panorama viewer. And again, it's free. And it works entirely on your own. It runs entirely in a browser. You host it on your web server, your website server. So there's two files that you need to download from Pannellum. There's a Pannellum JavaScript file and a Pannellum CSS file. And then you create the HTML file. I had my AI assistant create that file for me, and then I uploaded all three of those to my my website host. So once that was completed, I embedded it on my WordPress site. Now WordPress blocks iframe embeds by default. So we used Code Snippets, which is a free plugin. And we used that to create a short code. And again, I had my AI assistant generate this code. I had no idea what a short code was or what Code Snippets was. My AI assistant recommended installing the Code Snippets plugin, and then he generated the code, and I just posted it onto my website. So once that was done, that's it. And now there was one last gotcha I noticed right off the bat. Once everything was working, that my website hosting service was using a content delivery network, which compresses, it automatically compresses images to keep things running fast. So my 360 image was there, but it was blurry. It compressed it from 118 megabytes down to 316 kilobytes. So it was working, but it was compressed and it looked blurry. It looked terrible. So we figured out a fix. The fix was to add a no transform rule to my .ht access file. So that's just a little tip there if you run into that situation. So that's how you get around the CDN. So that little snippet of code, it tells the CDN to pass that file through untouched while still optimizing everything else on your site. So yeah, so we got it up and running for cheap and quick and easy. This was my first time doing this project, a 360 like this, and then hosting it on my website. And the whole process from start to finish, from image capture to finished product hosted on my website, was about 3 to 4 hours, with the help obviously of my AI assistant helping me, walking me through the process and helping me troubleshoot. Okay, so if you're offering drone services, this is a potential upsell that you can offer your clients. And this process that I just walked through is a way that you can add it to your portfolio on your website, self-hosting it without reoccurring fees or watermarks, and it just looks more professional. Or you could walk one of your clients through the same process to host a 360 image on their website. And finally, I also composed a blog post of this entire process, and it is published on my site, and the link to that is in the description below. Subscribe if you found this helpful and you would like to follow me on my drone business learning journey.